Hi everybody, it's Amy at Crafty Cat. I have a new digi. This one is a lot different than what I normally do. I feel like it's very colorful and I tend towards more neutrals. So this is just a new thing for me. It sort of reminds me of my winter the winter one with the snow and all that and the pictures because I used the old photographs again to do this one. This one is Fun at the Beach. It is a 25-page digital download, so you have to download it onto your computer and print it out. What else? I think that's about it for that. Oh, a lot of the backgrounds are abstract, very abstract ocean, because obviously this doesn't look super realistic, but you definitely get the feel of the ocean. And some of them are from pictures I took in Florida. Other ones are just computer generated, the backgrounds. And then I've added the vintage photos, and they're from all different time periods. It's kind of hard to find like a whole set of just Victorian beach ones that are clear enough to use. Or, you know, just the 20s or whatever time period. So I just kind of went with what I could find and cut out clear enough. So this is the first page, and I've added the birds to the background as well. And then there's this one, and you can definitely see here this is very abstract as far as the beach, but I just thought they were super fun, sort of watercolory. You know, added the sea turtle, added the seagulls, and then of course the ladies. And this one, I love this photograph. It's a whole line of them, and I'll show you when we get to it the extra pictures that I added, but I just cut off a bunch of them just and had these two. And then these ladies were just laughing, and obviously different time periods, but I just thought it's just meant to be kind of silly and fun. There's some dolphins jumping back there, and a bird, and seashells. And this one, I just love her. And these are shells from our trip. Picture of shells from our trip. And I added the birds again, and that guy cracks me up because he looks so serious. So he's like looking at the birds. And then there's this one. I love the seagull with the crab in his mouth. Super cute. And this one, this just totally cracks me up because these guys in these swimsuits, I don't know what they're even wearing, but they are hilarious. My kids and I were just laughing when I found this picture, just because it's just so different, obviously, than what we wear now. And I love this because she's just looking at them like, what are you guys doing? There's a whale. And then, oh, this one has some of the pictures, you know, that I took, images from the pictures I took on there. And here's an octopus. Super fun. And then this is, these ones with this real orange sky are from a photograph that I took, but turned it into, and I think this one is too, just the colors and stuff. Like computer generated it to make it more like a watercolor or whatever. So yeah, there's that one. Whoops. And then this one with the palm trees, but that, I loved that color of the sky that night when I took that picture. And it just, these are so kind of cool. Definitely get that ocean feel. And this is just an abstract background to use however, you know. And same with this one with the sky, is that it's from that picture that I took. And then this is another just abstract ocean. I was just having too much fun making these, so there's a lot of like the background pages, but I figured, you know, that way you can use them with any kind of oceany or beach themed, sea themed journals that you might have. And then this is just the seashells that I took a picture of. It was just so crazy in Florida, the beach that we were at. This is the whole beach, is this. So you can just grab up a handful of all the broken shells. Some of them are still whole, but most of them are broken a little bit, at least a little bit, all the way down to sand, obviously. And then this was a picture that I took of the little, oh, what are they called? The little tiny birds. I don't know. Anyway, and then I did some different backgrounds and stuff just to make them kind of almost look watercolored there. I don't know why I can't think what those birds are called now. And this is just another fun oceany background. And some starfish that have that same orangey colored background. And then this was just one footprint in the sand, and I know it's probably super hard to see because, I mean, even for me, I can definitely see it here, but it's, you know, but just sand. I just thought that would be a really cool, like, backing page for the back of your pictures, or you know, the back of your other pages. And then I've included some old photographs. This is just a strip of the seashells. I figured you could, you know, edge something with it or use it for part of a belly band or whatever. And then there's just seashell images. This is that one that I was talking about. It's so weird. Those mask things they're wearing are so bizarro. But this is more kind of early 1900s, I would say. And I'm not sure about the postcards, but they're just cute. And then the seagull with the crab. So yeah, all different time periods, but just fun, oceany. I love it when these ladies in the Victorian era wore, you know, their whole garb down there on the beach. It's like, and these ones with their dresses pulled up around their waist to, I think they're digging for clams is what I would assume. This is a picture I took in Florida. I just made it black and white. And then there's, you know, tags and journaling cards, kind of like I always do. My normal setup. And then there's the number 10 window envelope cover with the seashells. And then there's one with the oceany looking background, abstract background on the CD envelope. So that is that. Fun at the beach is what it's called. Fun at the beach. So I thought what we would do today is some collage, kind of like I mentioned. I've had a few questions, and so I figured I would just go ahead and kind of show you how I do it. Not that it's anything different than what anybody else does. If you watch Gail Collage or whatever, it's, you know, kind of all the same stuff. But I have gathered together, and this might be a good tip, if you can kind of gather together some papers that maybe go together in the color scheme that you're going with. I'm using, this is actually from my birthday Happy Mail. One of you lovely ladies sent that to me, and I'm sorry I don't remember exactly who, because I put it in with, you know, all my papers. But this is a piece of paper. It looks like a piece of scrapbook paper that's been stamped all over. So that's a great idea, great tip, great thing to do if you're not sure how to get like some of these funky background pieces that kind of just add a pop. And stamping in black like that is just a great idea because it's nice to have that. Just that pop of black kind of adds a lot to your collages or, you know, other pieces. I have book page, I have music page, there's a little piece of ledger. This is just from all my junky scraps. This is, you know, script is always great, actual handwriting in a collage. These are those scraps that like Louisa Heinzel did where she dripped inks and paints and all that kind of stuff on her scraps. I did the same thing, and this is a piece of Medieval Mirage scrap paper that I have left over, and it's from one of her silhouette kits, and I'm not sure exactly which one, but anyway, scraps, you know, that have been painty scraps, I'll call them. Same with these. This is a piece of deli paper that has paint on it from being a drop cloth, and then this is just scrapbook paper and more those scraps. This is jelly plating, more of the painty dripped. I got kind of carried away on this, but I thought maybe some bits of the black with the it's from one of those reproduction Sears and Roebuck magazines. So, and then this is all jelly plate prints that my sister and I played with, just using different inks. We were using the Tim Holtz oxide inks and water and stuff like that to get the, you know, get it to kind of react. And this is also one of the jelly plates we did using the square bubble wrap you get in packaging a lot that has the kind of big well, they're about like that, squares. So yeah, and ink. We didn't use paint, we used ink. So those are them. And somebody was kind of asking me how I get more color, because she said her collages tended to be more neutral, and the only way I, you know, do that differently or get color is by grabbing, you know, pieces of paper like this with some color on them and just adding them here and there. If you want just a little bit, then you can do mostly neutral and just have a few pieces of color. Yeah, you just got to play with it, really. And kind of one of my best tips, especially if you're just starting out, is don't try to use a bunch of itty bitty, you know, pieces of paper and do that, because it starts to just get like, I don't know, chaotic is all I can think of to say. So a lot of times I use big pieces, and I glue right onto this kids manila drawing paper that I get on Amazon, and you get a huge pack of it. But it's just great because it's a nice color, especially when it's inked. It has that kind of vintage book page feel. I have done it on book pages as well. I just kind of like the size of these. They're a little bit bigger than normal paper. I'm not sure. Let's see. They are 12 by 9 1/4, it looks like. 9 1/8. Or is that 9? I guess it's just 9. 12 by 9. Sorry. I was reading. That's what happens when I read sideways. But yeah, I just like them because they're a little bit bigger. So you're getting a little more collage. But you can collage on whatever you want. If you have old magazine pages, whatever it is that you are wanting to use up or whatever. I know that Gail a lot of times does that on magazine, or I can't think of what it's called. Something diary books that she has. I don't have any of those. And then she collages the back too. So yeah, whatever you've got. Just use what you've got. And I am going to ink. A lot of times if I'm just using like my neutral papers, my old papers, I don't ink because I don't feel like they really need it. But when they have this white edge, I don't like that. So I am going to use my walnut stain ink and just, you know, kind of quickly go around those. So if you don't like that, go ahead and fast forward. And then we're just gluing pieces on. So you can see this is a pretty big piece. So we'll probably maybe do a couple of these pages just so that, you know, I got a couple. It's nice to, if you're going to get the stuff out and do it, you might as well make a couple of them. A lot of times what I do is sit on the couch at night when my husband and I are watching TV or whatever, and collage. And the really, I think that's a super good tip too, is like put on a movie that you've already seen so you know what's going on, so you don't feel like you have to watch every second of what's happening. And then maybe do some collaging, because it helps with that overthinking bit of collaging, like I think a lot of us do. I just tend to collage and not think a whole lot about it, but I've been doing it for, you know, I've been paper crafting for over 20 years. So it's sort of just, in a lot of ways, second nature to me. But I know that it's not for a lot of people, and I understand that totally, because it wasn't for me at first either. I think it's sort of like anything. You got to train your brain, you know, practice, and it helps a lot. And then just don't overthink with collage. You just got to kind of grab a piece, stick it down, grab a piece, stick it down. You can't, if you're analyzing every single piece, it becomes kind of torturous, and it's not fun. It's not something you want to do. That's why it's kind of nice to have a movie or something on that you're, you know, at least sort of paying attention to, so that you're not analyzing every single piece of paper you grab. So, and I mean, if all else fails, you can just throw it away. It's just paper. So, and I know that's hard, especially if you're using like antique books or, you know, pieces of paper. That's rough. But I mean, you can, if you really hate it, you can just get rid of it. So this is a piece of scrap paper that I've stamped onto, and that's stamped, so that's kind of cool. Not that you have to stamp, just an idea. I think I'm going to tear it a little more naturally so that it doesn't look so straight edged. But yeah, how y'all doing today? Are you having a good day? I am, because the sun is shining. Yay! I got a little done with the rain. I know we need it, but I just get done with rain real quick. I'm from this deserty west. I don't do rain very well for very many days. I was telling my kids that where I grew up, we mostly had blue skies. Even in the winter, the storms would come in, you know, dump snow or rain or whatever the time of the year it was, and then leave like fairly quickly. I mean, sometimes snow days were obviously a little bit more than that, but still at some point in the day, it seems the sun would come out. And so that is something I really miss, because even though I'm only one state up north, because I grew up in Nevada, I feel like we get a lot more sort of torturously long rainy days. And it's probably just me, because I'm just not, like I said, really used to that kind of weather. That one, I'm not wanting to cover up that rose right there a whole lot, so maybe we'll use a piece of book page. But yeah, so that's just more of a me thing than anything else. And different colors of book page are good. So, you know, some that have less patina than others. I'm just going to kind of tear this corner off. That way you get variation. It is a great idea. My hands are hurting today because we've had thunderstorms and we're getting more this weekend, so I apologize if it feels fumbly, because it probably is fumbly. That's why. They're just real sore today for some reason. I think that's because we got another storm coming. Thunderstorms are almost worse for me than like winter storms, which is weird. But anywho. Alright. That. Let's get some of this, a little bit of this orangey. I think I want. So this is an example. I have color here. This is another color. So you just, if you want to add color, just add pieces of color. I don't really have like any other way of saying, you know, how I do it, because that's all I do is just, if I want to add color to it, I put color in it. And like I said, the best sort of advice I can give you on that is maybe get some pieces out that have color. That might prevent you from, like if you are just setting all your scraps next to you and picking them out, you may be choosing more neutrals thinking they go together, or it just be, you know, you get on that roll and you're just adding all neutrals. So maybe if you get a stack like I did of papers out, that might help as far as that whole thing goes. And if you can't see over here, I'm just gluing. Just putting down the glue. And I always start at a corner and go across. Everybody kind of starts different. Like I think Gail does, like, put something in 4 corners and goes towards the middle. It's all how you like to do it. Sometimes I start at this side. I don't know. I don't really have any system necessarily. It's just kind of what comes to me while I'm doing it is what I do. And so this piece is a little bit smaller, still not real tiny. I just wouldn't go with all itty bitty pieces, because you'll get to where you're annoyed and it'll seem real busy. It'll look just like too much is going on. And the other thing you have to remember, if you're cutting these into tags and all that, say you like this over here, but you're not crazy about this over here, they're not going to be together. They're going to be separated from each other. So that's just another thing to think about. So what I'm saying, I guess, is even if you look at the whole page and you don't like it all, you're not going to be using it all together anyway. Usually, if you're using these for journaling. And they do curl a bit from the glue, but I've never had any problems. They always tend to flatten back out again. And another thing, you'll see, like I do have a lot going this way, but I also have this one going this way, and I think I'm going to put this long one going this way. You kind of want to do that just so you don't end up with all this, unless that's what you're trying to do. I've done those before too, where I've used just strips of paper and gone, you know, all the way across. That does look cool if you're using all roughly the same size strips, because that is looking purposeful. But when you do these random pieces, it's kind of good to have some going, you know, vertical and some going horizontal. Horizontal, vertical. Sorry. Okay. Maybe another piece of this. I feel like this down here needs, maybe we'll use this. It feels like it's kind of busy. Dark, so I'm going to use this writing to help break it up a little bit. Probably feels busy and dark because it is. Genius. I'll save that because I could collage on that, or I can use it for something else. Make journaling cards out of the extra book page. You can make pockets, tags, you know, whatever you're making you can do with the extra book page or leftover book page glue page. I think I want a piece of this real orangey bit. See, I don't want that real white edge, but if you like that, because I know for a while when we were doing scrapbooking, we would try to get that white edge, but then it became not so popular. So it's just, I don't know, or maybe it just wasn't something everybody liked, but some people still may, and that's fun. All right, I'm going to take some darker book page, I think. Is this one? Yeah, I think this one would work. And I'm not reading it, so I'm sorry if there's anything. I think this one's okay because it's an old Reader's Digest, but every once in a while it has not the loveliest topics, but you know, stuff's going to get covered up because we'll add stuff to our tags and journaling cards and stuff. So at that time I can fix anything that might not be so lovely. Put this piece down here maybe. Like that. Yeah, the hands don't want to work today at all. And then, so right here you can see I'm going to probably have some spaces where there isn't. I'll just ink those afterwards because that won't even really be a big deal once you get to making your tag or whatever. A lot of times you have to cut part of something off anyway, so I don't stress about that. If I have stuff hang over, I just cut it off. So yeah, all those things can be fixed later. Oh, I actually hung over instead, so There you go. Okay, let's use some of this. It's just got a little bit of almost purple in it, but I think it's fine. Actually, we're just gonna I always go the wrong way when I tear them, and I don't want to see the white, and I always end up seeing the white. Stir. You have to tear it the right way, Amy. That'll work. That will give me some. So I'm just going to take these two and stick them together, and then I will be able to make, like I said, journal cards, whatever out of that. Pockets. Can stitch fabric to it all over. I've done one of those recently. Make a pocket and you stitch fabric all over it. Kind of in a almost quilted like, you know, or crazy quilt. Those are fun. Did that in the frog journal. But I hope this helps for adding some color. Yeah, like I said, I don't really have like a specific way I do it every time. Get this glue off of here. But, you know, I just try to add bits and pieces. This one's actually got quite a bit of color. I love these painty papers in Collage. I just think they add a lot. I'm going to just kind of straighten this one out a little bit. Which is weird, I know, but I want it covering this the least amount possible. And I like the tear ruler. If you prefer to cut stuff, go ahead and, you know, cut it. And what you can do if you have these bits that you put on and they're plain and you think, oh, why did I do that? You know, you wanted something more on there, just add a bit of stamping, because you could technically glue down all plain paper, and then when you're all done, do the thing like Louisa Heinzel does where you spatter the whole page. So if you like that look of it being a little more cohesive, and stamp it right then too is another idea that you could do. Or if you don't have these painty papers already, you could just glue a bunch of other papers on and then add splatters and stamping and all that. So you can also add postage stamps here and there. Looks really cool. That's a fun thing to do. I've done like little images of ladies, like Victorian type things. Looks neat. You know, any old vintage photos look neat here and there. Is that just thinking too much of this color, but I like it. I'm sorry, I forgot who sent this particular piece, but I really like it. It looks great with collage, so thank you so much. Yeah, it sort of becomes, it's hard because, you know, I have to put some stuff away. I can't keep it all together, so with the names and that, I need to put that other journal together too. So over here, maybe we'll do a piece of this. So yeah, I really just try not to think about it a whole ton. Oh, I kind of like that side better. It's fine. I love other people's handwriting because mine is not real great. I don't feel like a lot of people's is really great. I look at like my mom's handwriting, and my husband's dad had awesome handwriting, and like we just got a graduation card for my son in the mail from my mother-in-law's brother, and his handwriting was just amazing too. And I just think it's so sad that we don't try to get our kids to have better handwriting. I know they're all using computers and stuff, but I feel like it's a very important thing. And I used to teach that, and when I was teaching in the school, I taught reading and handwriting, you know. I'm sorry, I'm looking for my stamps. I know I just had them, and I don't know where I set them at. But yeah, I mean, even though my handwriting wasn't great, I worked mainly with kindergarten and first grade, so it was just the basic. It wasn't cursive or anything, but it just feels like I don't feel like we put enough emphasis on that, and it's kind of unfortunate in my opinion. This is a Tim Holtz stencil. Might put a little of that on. And then I have my crackle that I got from Tammy. Thank you, Tammy. And that little one's also, it all came together in this stamp and stencil. Let's see. I don't know if that's the right number. THMM119. I doubt that's right. Mixed Media, Stampers Anonymous. But I don't know what that one's called. Maybe it's just the mixed media. Anyway. Let's see. I don't know what color I want to do that. Thinking black just because. Oops, that's wrong color. Do a little bit. So yeah, sometimes I add stuff to them. Sometimes I wait until I decide, you know, what journal they're going in, what I add to them. But this is just going to add another sort of background thing, so it's fine. I love this crackle from that Tim Holtz Stampers Anonymous. It's great. But if you're wanting more like flowers or whatever, obviously add those things. You know, you don't have to do just like I'm doing it. Do your own version. Okay. I think I like to use the numbers on these. And again, you could do this after too, like when you decide where you want stuff. All right, so there's one. So we'll do another one just for why not? Okay. Remove that one and get another piece of paper. Move our stamps. Lost a bug. Okay, so here we go again. I really like this orangey, so I could use this with my the new kit, the Fun at the Beach. I hope you guys like that. I have another kind of real abstract one I'm working on that should be out any day. And yeah, it's kind of different. I hope you guys will like it. It's kind of a grungy-ish. All started with some vintage art that I found that's very abstract. And so you guys will see when it's all ready. You don't have to tear off the edges of the book page if you like it. I just don't like all that white space that much. But if you do, then definitely keep it. This little one's just begging to be used. And that's something I do too, is often overlap. Like instead of taking it to the edge here, I'll pull it over a little bit. I just think it gives it a little more interest than if everything's completely lined up with every edge. Getting sticky fingers. I like how this is down here. It's like soaked through right there. Rocking the boat. I'm gonna kind of go like that, I think. Take some of this off. The glue with the old book page is not a great combination, so a lot of times I go through a lot of book pages because of that when I'm doing this. Because if you get it stuck anywhere, it's not as forgiving as like scrapbook paper that'll just kind of come off of the glue. It always usually tears it. It says ocean waves right there. That's cool. Okay, I didn't do the fairy book, or collage today. I didn't do collage for that because I'm just about done with ephemera for that, I think. So yeah, I didn't do that. Oh, somebody asked me if we had a graduation party for my son, and I didn't. He didn't want to do that. He just wanted to have dinner with family, and so that's what we did. He went to a few, quite a few of his friends' graduation parties. And he's like, I don't really get the point of them because it just seems like everybody sort of just stands around and I don't know. So he just wasn't into it. We're not much of party people, entertainers or whatnot. So we don't have a very big family at all, so it's easy for us to just do family dinners. It's not very, I know a lot of people it's too much, so that's why they do like a whole get together party, because it's just too much. We don't really have that problem. Oh, that side has a little more music, it looks like. Sorry. Should have looked at the other side, huh? But yeah, so was his choice. I think we tend towards small get-togethers more. That's that. I'm trying to find something different. Maybe one of these. I almost like this side better, but there's more color over here, so let's use this. Okay. Sorry, I'm not very chatty today. Some days don't have any stories. Things have calmed down a bit. Have a wedding to go to this weekend, I've mentioned, and that's going to be fun. It's just crazy to think of Aiden's friends getting married. Oh my gosh. Where does time go? I feel like it's just been racing by this year too. I can't believe it's already June. Ay, ay, ay. Incredible, honestly. I think I'll use that. I wish I had more of that. I didn't do very much of those kind of colors when we did the sorry, just trying to figure out what I'm doing here. Jelly plate. It either is too long or doesn't reach all the way there. I think I'll go here. I could use paper from the kit too, of course. That's another thing you can use, your whatever digital or scrapbook paper you're using for the particular journal. You can definitely obviously use those pages as well. I just sometimes like to do something without, you know, just other papers. I do like the bit of black in there. The ink, when you use the Distress Oxide, like on the jelly plate, it changes the texture of the paper. It's kind of crazy. It like makes it really soft. I'm feeling very square. I'm going to keep that just because I like the color of it. A little bit will get covered whenever I put it down the next piece, but this I'm not going to bother inking because it's pretty patinaed already. I'll just cut off the extra once it's all dry. I really got crazy with the paint on this one. I did not mean to. It just got away from me. Which happens. So you still tend to overthink things sometimes. Yeah, I don't want it. I don't like it. Kind of just want to cover up that title for some reason. Just so it just doesn't go. Getting to the end of my paper. It's a lot easier when you have the fresh supply, right? You guys even see what I'm doing? Getting way sticky fingers. Oh my goodness. Okay. This one's folded right here, so I'm going to just take a piece. Go this way. There, and I have this little piece of poem I think I'm going to put there. Oh, did I cut it too short? Ay. guess we're putting ledger there instead. I'll use the piece of poem somewhere else. Okay. Don't rip your pieces too small. I flip this around. I like that curled edge. I don't know if it'll get used or not because, you know, like I said, a lot of times you end up cutting that stuff off when you cut the tags or the whatever you decide to cut out of it. Okay, so let's trim that edge and put the lid on our stuff here. All right, so there's two. I think, do I want stamps on this one? Don't know. Might just use a few numbers. So sorry. My goodness. I just totally wonkied the whole thing. Sorry about that. Okay. Use my circles that my hubby gave me. These ones are tricky because I don't have a big stamping, you know, the blocks. So I'm going to use this. I don't know how, but I don't. I think it's because when I was stamping, it was still the wood blocks, and then I kind of got out of everything for a while, and then came back to it, and just have bought these, and that's all. I just haven't bought anymore. I do have the I can't remember what it's called, Misty or whatever that thing is, but that's a whole piece of stuff to get out. I don't want to do that. I'm gonna have to buy some blocks, because otherwise you get that in the middle of those. That was glue that I wiped off something earlier. And these, like I said, were a gift from my husband for my birthday. They're on Amazon, these circles, if you like those. And I think that's all I'm going to do for now, because when I cut them up again, I will do more. But anyway, there's two completed collage boards. So I hope this was helpful. I know I don't have any really specific things because I just do it different every time, but yeah, I think big pieces are good. Maybe get out a stack of the colors you want to use of papers. Don't get too many. You saw what I had to begin with, something, you know, kind of like that. Might be helpful because then you're not just constantly grabbing out of your same bag or whatever and ending up with all the same colors. So plus this way you'll be able to get closer to the kit or whatever it is, the journal, the theme that you're trying to make. So anyway, I hope that was helpful. I hope you have a wonderful day and we'll chat again tomorrow. Love you guys. Talk later. Bye now.